Guys, giddy up and onwards. We've got a 12-team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Scott, are you going Javonte Williams or the 210? Go ahead, man.
Well, happy Tuesday, everybody. So we start with a very, very interesting trade that I'm sure everybody is just so excited to talk about. This is a process trade. I highlighted on my most recent DD Fantasy video that I like Javonte Williams. He was actually pretty efficient last year. He was the best of a shitty group of running backs on the Broncos. So you kind of wonder, was that he's bad, or was this the Broncos run game broken last year? Who knows? Still the 210 though. I can do so much more with the 210. Now Javonte is going to be a free agent. There's a chance he signs a decent deal to a spot that people like and they're willing to pay a second. But there's also the chance that he ends up as the third running back on a team and the league doesn't value him at all. He's like Zach Moss, but not on a good team. So like there's a world where you're like, I'm left with nothing. So I would take the 210, but I do think if you like him, if you like insert whatever other running back that is not young, that is not sexy, that is not super good, like not Joe Mixon or Alvin Kamara, like just guys you're not sure what to do with. This is probably what I have to pay to get them off of somebody else's roster.
Why do you like him? Why do you like him?
Well, he was top 5 in the league last year in target share. He had 70 targets. So if you didn't look at anything else, he's clearly a passing game weapon that is going to be a free agent that could go to a decent situation. He's just been more efficient than his value. I think he's RB like 42 or something like that. And basically everything but his fantasy production was top 30 last year. But then you look at the rest of the backfield in Denver, they all sucked. So was it that he was bad, or was it that now it could have just been that Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams and Audric Estime are all bad. So if that's the case, then he's the best of the worst. But I think there's a lot that's going for him. He's a free agent, and he also is a name. Right?
He's a name. He's likable. He likes to thrash out there, man. Yeah,
just picture this. I know everybody is talking about, oh, what if Dallas takes a running back? What if they sign Javonte Williams and he gets the Zach Moss deal, $4 million a year for 2 years? Like, he would have some value. You may not think he even is a startable running back, but he's a commodity that you could move. But I don't want to pay a second for him because that feels like that's exactly the range he would fit in if something good happens for him. So I don't want to give up the pick today, but I am interested in getting him, just not this way.
Shane, what do you think, man? Are you taking the 210? And if so, would this be different just psychology wise if it were the 301? I mean,
psychologically, analytically, the 301 is lesser than the 210. So yes,
I didn't realize I was asking you
analytically.
I didn't realize I was asking you for that kind of advice.
There's like math, and math 301 is greater than 210, but in our world that's less than. So no, I want the 210, and just even just from a straight player take, I'd rather take whoever I can get at 210 than Javonte straight up. To be honest with you, Javonte, I will give you. We just did a 3-round mock on DD Fantasy last week. And I think I would prefer everyone in the through the third round. So I'll give you a 4th or fab because we shouldn't have 4th rounds.
Here's the funny thing. We would be on that mock. I could list about 20 players we didn't draft, and Shane would go, give me that guy over a shitty Javonte Williams.
Absolutely.
Like in Shane's world, he's worth like a 6th.
Yeah, especially
he's
this
an
time of year
FFPC.
too.
He's an FFPC rookie pick.
Yeah.
This time of year too. It's what, February 4th at the time of this stream. I mean, what are you doing? Just giving a 210 for Javonte Williams. So even if he gets favorable news, right? Is he going to even bump up more than that? I mean, if you're buying him at this time of year, you clearly like him a lot. You're not going to then like be like, ooh, I'm going to pounce on this and get an extra third by selling him now. You know what I mean?
I mean, here's the guys that's around him. Tyler Algier. Yeah, like nobody's going out of their way to take what could be a shiny new rookie toy for Tyler Algier. You know what I mean? Jerome Ford, Roshan Johnson. Like nobody's actually buying these guys unless they have conviction on one of them or, you know, some player in this tier. But I will say, if you looked at all the running backs that are currently outside the top 30 and inside the top 70, 10 of those guys are going to be startable, at least. They're not, all of them are going to get nuked in the draft, right? Like, not all of them are going to be dead. So there's probably some ones where you're like, can I make a strategic bet? And you probably have to pay, maybe not the 210, but you have to give up something to, if I have Javonte Williams on my roster, I'm fine rostering him. You know what I mean? He's already on my team. I'm fine just keeping him to see what happens because he does fit a build of like any running back on a 53.
He is a running back.
I'm not paying for him if I don't have him. I think that's the theme with all the running backs in this range.
It's so funny. Scott's talking about how he likes Javonte Williams. Your version of like is, I mean, he's on my roster. He could have a roster spot.
Well, let me give some actual advice.
I'm just
no. I'm going to expand a little bit because people are probably wondering, well, what the hell do you do? How do you say you like him, but you won't pay a second for him? You won't even pay an early mid-third for him. There's a lot of other undesirable players. Like someone asked in the last video, would you give up Jalen Coker for Javonte Williams? Like, yeah, because I'd rather have the running back that fits my roster construction than my wide receiver 9. You know what I mean? But people don't equate like the pick versus those two players when really the value in that deal is getting rid of a receiver that fits in the same range of I don't know what the hell to do with them for a running back that I might have a prayer to be able to start a couple times. So that's how you get him. You don't trade picks for him.
Alexander Burton got us a super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We've got 107 eyeballs in the audience. Good to see you here early. Shane, we've got a 10-team super flex PPR, 1.5 for the tight ends. Do we have starters here? Doesn't look like it. Alexander, if you're still in just throw in the number of starters while I'm reading this off. Josh Allen, Caleb Darnold at quarterback, Bijan, Aaron Jones, Tracy at running back, JJ, Marv, Neighbors, Adunze, Olave, DJ Moore, McMillan at wide receiver, and then Bowers and Andrews at tight end. What tier running back / pick can I expect for Marv, Olave, and DJM? Any roster recommendations? All right, Shane. So 10 teams, super flex. Let's assume start 10. Small tight end. Lots of pieces on this team. The question was, what tier running back / pick can he get for Marv, Olave, DJ Moore? Go ahead, wherever you want to start with that.
I mean, probably not a running back that I want to get for that price, like Marvin Harrison Jr. Last year, we were paying the 101 for Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So ipso facto, which is a legal term, I'd want Jahmyr Gibbs. Guess what? I'm not getting Jahmyr Gibbs or anything close to Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I probably could get? Breece Hall, someone with a little stink. I don't know if you can get Achane, to be honest with you. If I could get Achane, I'd probably be happy with that. Olave, we're going lower. Bucky for Marvin Harrison? Yeah, you get Bucky plus, I would hope. Although the Bucky love is absolutely astoundingly high.
I mean, Breece and Bucky are RB5 and RB6. So if those are like, oh my God, that's not enough, then there's like, what, 4 players you would be willing to trade Marv for? Otherwise, I need more,
I mean, at the running back position. Yeah, at the running back position. A chain I would think about much more than I would than Buctavius, who I have less what's the word I'm looking for? Less expectations that he'll continue on this route. Olave, like, you know, as the wide receivers, I don't want to say diminish, but as you go down that tier, DJ Moore and Chris Olave are getting you, I don't know. Chase Brown. Yeah, that's about right. Like, you'd have to be happy with that. Like Chris Olave, can you get Tyrone Tracy in a second? You know what I mean? Like, that's probably the running backs you could get. So I don't know that I'd be trading these guys for running backs. If I can add something to Olave and somehow get into the Breece Hall range, I'll do that. But I don't know if that's possible.
I mean, would you give up Olave for like Josh Jacobs? Like an old mercenary 1 to 2 year window guy, but probably is going to outscore these types of receivers.
Yeah. Yes.
That doesn't feel good, does it, Clay? Giving up Olave for an old ass running back at this time of year. It's like you immediately pass over that tier of like, man, I really don't want to give up a young asset for a running back, but I can't argue with Shane. Like, that's how you, Olave is probably not valued like we want him to be. You know what I mean?
And it's going to take a sec for him to bounce back in value too. Doesn't it feel like that? Right? People there's a little bit of a Olave stake. It's not like everybody's going to be all in right back on it. I feel like he's going to have.
Well,
something.
I heard a pod the other day, and they were talking like, "Oh, I kind of like Olave as a buy," and they were citing like Derek Carr's back, and I'm like, he doesn't even like Derek Carr. You know, it's not like he was amazing with Derek Carr either. So it's like it's not like he's jumping back at a situation where he's scored 20 points a game before. You know, it's like you're just hoping it doesn't suck so that he can maintain some value and stay healthy. That's like at best what you're hoping for. I like Olave, but it feels like even if he's healthy, what is he? Wide receiver 20? Like
wide receiver 15 to wide receiver 24. So yeah. Bucky definitely has the fans behind him.
Yeah,
Dude is
100%.
You're getting 104s, 103s. You could use him to get the 101. Like the Bucky craving is deep. I'm sad. I'm trying to update my username on Twitter, and unfortunately, Shane Says is already taken.
Yeah, by you, right?
No, I'm Shane is the worst, but the actual Twitter handle Shane Says is unavailable.
I think you should modify it. It should be Shane Swears.
It should be Gutterbag or no. Ask the crowd. Where's the crowd thing?
Oh my God! Don't even ask the crowd what Shane should name it.
Shane, let's have fun with this. What has to be in it? Shane,
my name,
obviously, right? Yeah. So what else?
Do I do Shane Manila Says? Like that just seems like fucking.
No.
How about my middle name? Shane Michael Says.
Because Manila is 1 N 1 L, right? So that's
Shane
like
Screams.
Asking for trouble. Shane Screams.
Yeah. The problem is I'm J Balls. I'm trying to get away from the Shane is the worst vein. So Shane Screams is similar. You know, Shane Swears. Maybe Sugar Shane Mosley. Great.
Shane Shines.
Shane Shines. That's then I'll get Shoe Shine.
How about Shane Show?
Shane Show.
It's
the Shane Show.
Doesn't require Shane in the name. Everyone knows who knows. Well, yeah, but you gotta have Shane. Gotta have Shane.
You have to.
I like Shane.
Shane is your brand. We call
Shane knows.
Shane. Yeah.
Oh, Shane Skull F's.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one too. I know. I was thinking of Baker and Skull F's. All right, Uncle Daddy, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. So, Scott, we'll start with you. This is a 10-team PPR start 9 super flex. Have Love, Nix, Kyler at quarterback, Barkley, Gibbs, Monty, Estime at running back, Chase, AJ Brown, Reed, Godwin, and then McBride is the tight end listed. Trade is give Kyler, AJB, and Gibbs. Oh, man. Get Bucky, CD, 106, and a 27 second. Love the show, fellas. We love you too, Uncle Daddy. Thanks for the super chat. Where are you going here, Scott? It's a 10-team super flex start 9, so very shallow. And it's a big trade. Kyler, AJ Brown, and Gibbs. And you're getting Bucky, CD, 106, and a second.
Well, here's what I like about the deal. I like that we're getting credit for a quarterback that's basically equivalent of a 12-teamer, right? So we're getting mid-first for Kyler. It's not like Kyler is treated as a throw-in. And a lot of 10-teamers, you know, quarterbacks like the ones you have, all of them are just there. You know what I mean? Like they're more valuable to you to have the trio of these three than you can get individually for any of them in trade. So if you just take out Kyler in the 106 for a second, CD over AJ Brown, but is the difference between Gibbs and Bucky enough to cover the AJ Brown, CD Lamb? I mean, I think it comes down to what else can I do with the side that I'm getting. Like in theory, I'd prefer Gibbs over Bucky, but I might be able to do even more with Bucky if I'm willing to trade him. I can probably do more in this league with the 106 than I can Kyler. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine getting the CD side. I hate giving up Gibbs in a 10-team format like this, but what else can I do with the Bucky side? Can I go and get, you know, something else? You know, I think this is a good deal for both sides, and I'm fine taking the AJ Brown to the CD from AJ Brown is the one that could be huge for me in terms of AJ Brown is good, but he no longer really has any steam or dynasty value. You know what I mean? Like getting Bucky and CD and a pick, I think I can do a lot more with the side there. So I'm good with what you're getting.
Which side are you taking, Shane? It's, again, shallow here. Kyler, AJ Brown, Gibbs, or Bucky, CD, 106.
Kyler. So I get a QB1, AJ Brown, who can give me a reasonable facsimile of CD's production, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, who absolutely SFs Bucky out of the sky. Then you get the 106 in the 27th second too. Yeah, this is close. I hate doing this, right? But this be one of those ones I'd get my inbox and I'd look at it and go, I don't understand how this helps me. Like it's you know what I mean? Like it feels lateral. Like I can look at it and go, well, I'm getting a quarterback, but couldn't I get a quarterback with just if I kept the 106 and the 27 and kept CD and Bucky and vice versa?
You're getting that side.
Well, I'm just playing.
Yeah, it's like who wants what, and how did the conversation start? I just look at that and it's too many big names and not enough variation.
I do think the 10 and 12 teamer is a huge factor here. The 10 team leagues, unless you are an elite, you think people are only chasing elite quarterbacks in most leagues. Wait till you get to a 10 teamer where everybody has like a Jared Goff chilling on as their third. You know what I mean? So unless you really think Kyler has the potential to be a notch above Bo Nix and Jordan Love, then it feels like the strength in your quarterback room right now is the fact that you have 3. And you just need one of them to be really good, and the other 2 can just fill out that second spot. But it feels like the gift here is getting what might be Travion Henderson or whatever for a quarterback in a 10-teamer where there's probably not a strong quarterback market.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's keep rolling here. We have a question from the crowd. This is from Randy Lean. He says, let's go. Lots more enthusiasm than that. Shane, this is a 12-team, 2 QB, PPR, no tight end premium, start 10. And he says it's 26-man rosters. Burrow, Kyler backups at quarterback, Cans at running back, JJ, Puka, BTJ, Marv, and then Hawkinson at tight end. Has the 103, 108, 111. The question is, hammer running backs with those picks or buy a hammer running back? Shane, what do you think here, man? 12-team, 2 QB, PPR, start 10.
I would prefer to. Great. When I make my screen big, unfortunately, I can't see anything because of the freaking. What do you call that? Speedball. What are we on? StreamYard. Just stuff across the bottom. Anyway,
you're on speedballs. Yep.
Whatever. Bro, I gotta be honest. I don't want to combine like the 103, 108, and 111 and try to get a running back. Like, why don't I just bang out running backs in this class? Like, give me a bunch. But obviously, can I move the 103 for a chain? Can I move the 103 for Gibbs? Can I move the 103 for Bijan? I'm gonna try, right? And if I can't, well, then back to the grill again, and I'll just go ahead and make the picks 103, 108, 111, or at least hold on to them for now and grab a running back or 2 in the draft. That 111 or even the 108, I'd love to move back into the second. Like if I could get a second and a future first, I think I'd prefer doing that. And then I still get a shot at one of these running backs kind of in the same tier-ish, and then an additional first.
And in a 2 QB, Clay, I think I'm probably taking. Like if Cam Ward's there at 103, that's a smash.
You have to in a 2 QB.
Right.
There's going to be a QB probably at 108 or 111. I don't know exactly who it's going to be, but there might be like that 111 is the spot where you'll take like Jackson Dart as the 3rd QB if he's there in this format. But I'm probably in a 2 QB like this where there's some scarcity. There's going to be times where people don't have a quarterback, and I have a much better shot of making a trade than a super flex. So it's tough because I know your running backs suck and you probably think the rest of your team is ready to compete. But
yeah,
I'm not taking the RB5 over Shedeur Sanders in a 2 QB.
No way.
No.
Okay, let's keep going with these questions. Thank you for that one, Randy. Let's go to Vapad. I see a lot of Vapad does Dynasty starred here in our little folder. Which one do I start with? 822 looks like it was the first. All right, here we go. Good to see you, Vapad. Scott, we'll start with you. This is a 12-team best ball auction league. Looks like it's super flex. This is a startup. Jesus, Vapad.
It's a Vapad question, man.
It's a Vapad question. It's 30-man rosters, 12 teams start 10. This was an auction league startup, super flex. Bells and whistles. $1,000 budget. So far have Bowers, Laporta, Barkley, Fields, and Justice Hill with $414 remaining. Am I cooked is the question. The second part is so far 16 quarterbacks off the board, 7 running backs, 10 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, and 2 rookie picks. He says, my budget remaining is similar to most in the league. Big outliers are 781, 764, and 1,000. So there are some big stacks at the table. But what did you hear from what I just said, Scott? Go ahead, get started.
Well, I mean, I heard it. Welcome to the guy that hasn't spent $1 yet. I wonder what his plan is. He's still got 1,000 left, and there's like 60 players off the board already. I'm not saying you're cooked, but I think in a best ball,
not 60. Let me just clarify there. It's 23,
38 off the board.
Yeah, 38 off the board and 2 rookie picks.
So I think, just without knowing anything else about the league, nothing about the trade economy, whatever. Obviously, the prices are probably pretty expensive, given you've already spent $586 on these assets. You probably way overpaid for Bowers and Laporta. And here's what I mean. In a best ball league, is it nice to have Brock Bowers? Yeah. But you know what? There's going to be a team that gets a tight end room of like Cade Otton, Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, Noah Fant, Dalton Schultz, and they're going to get the whole room for like $40. And you're going to be like, why the hell did I spend $140 on Sam Laporta? You know what I mean? Because you're going to see the crash down where somebody's going to build a nice, and the two places that you can really see the gaps, but there's very minimal difference in production in best ball is quarterback and tight end. Because like a team will pay, I don't know, I wonder what he paid for Fields. I bet he paid like starter prices for Fields, which I don't hate that bet on Fields, but you're probably going to have to build your entire QB room like that. And if you're wrong, you have no chance. And you're going to have to roster too many at those positions to fix it. So I definitely wouldn't have done the tight end horde here. If I'm doing the tight end horde, I'm doing a tight end horde. You know what I mean? I'm taking like 5 of the top 8, and I'll build out the rest of my team using the leverage at that position. I wouldn't say cooked, but I think, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably overpaid for Laporta. That's the issue that I have here.
Here's a quick trade from and thanks for that question, Vapad. We'll turn that around. I'm sure you'll figure it out. You're an aggressive dynasty player, so just keep it tight. All right, Blitz rules 240 traded likely in the 205 for Kelce and the 106 this morning. What do you think? We don't have any format unless it's starred. Traded likely in the 205 for Kelce and the 106. How the hell do you pull that off?
Because Kelce was going to retire, but apparently he's going to play for 3 more years now.
Drugs. Good. Hopefully he can go for that. Hopefully the Eagles win on Sunday, and he's going to all right, I got to play at least 3 more years to try to get the three-peat. He must hate Taylor Swift. He must absolutely hate her and just be like, I cannot spend a lot of time with this woman. Like, I got to play football. Like, I have to escape her.
Tell us more about that. Why do you think he has to hate Taylor Swift?
Because why would you not just retire? Like, you were 36 years old. You've got, 4 Super Bowl titles? What are they? 3? 3. Hopefully it ends there. You got 3 Super Bowl titles. Shut up. You have 3 Super Bowl titles. Apparently you're with one of the hottest women in the world, richest women in the world. You're a backup dancer for her for sometimes. So why wouldn't you just retire if you wanted to be around her all the time? You know what I mean? I would retire from my job to be with someone that I wanted to be with all the time, even if I loved that job and I was 36.
Shane, would you trade the 205 and Isaiah Likely for the 106 without Kelce in the deal?
Yeah, I don't need Kelce. What the hell?
That's the funny part, is getting Kelce as like he's worth nothing, he's dead throw-in piece. You know what I mean?
Just an absolute terrible deal, bro. Terrible deal.
You want to know a fun fact, Clay? There's one player in NFL history that's won 3 Super Bowls in a row.
One player in NFL history is
LeGarrette Blount.
Can anyone name who it is?
I said LeGarrette Blount, but it's not.
No. One player in NFL history has won 3 Super Bowls in a row.
It's a scrub. I know that.
It's got to be like an O lineman or
Hall of Fame. It's a Hall of Famer.
Who?
Shane should know. It's right in his prime. Ken Norton Jr. Cowboys and then Niners.
And then was it not?
Went to the Niners after they won their 2 titles and won another one. But
no shit.
But I think it's Ken Norton. It's either Ken Norton or Charles Haley. It's one of the two. Charles Haley. No, it's Charles Haley. You're right. It's Charles Haley. But if the Chiefs win, there's 29 more players that join that club.
Unbelievable.
So if Charles Haley is the biggest Eagle fan, even though he was a Cowboy, he's probably going, man, I want to be the only one instead of being one of 30. And there's like 12 Chiefs that are like, McCole Hardman is one of the middle tier names. There's guys that are way lower than him that are going to get 3 rings in a row.
Yeah, you might distaste rooting for Philadelphia, right? For whatever.
It's sub words.
Mostly because a lot of people around the country are just bitches. But would you rather the Eagles just win a Super Bowl, right? And honestly, you'll forget about it in 5-10 years, right? You won't even have to hear about it probably in 5-10 years, right? We'll be done crowing. If Kansas City wins, we will never fucking hear the end of it about that godforsaken podunk piece of shit town. Oh, Kansas City's greatest dynasty of all time. Like, go away. Just go away. They can't even have parades because it's too dangerous there. Like, we don't want that. They are the evil empire. You have to pick the lesser of 2 evils. Yes, Philadelphia, we're kind of abrasive, and maybe we say some untoward things from time to time. And, we don't treat opposing fans very nicely. And generally, most of us are, iffy on the scale of good people or not. But at least you would not have to hear us talking about how we won the 3rd Super Bowl for the rest of our lives. You will never not hear about that. You already don't like Patrick Mahomes. No one does. No one likes his voice. Guess what you're going to see everywhere all the time? Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City's going to have their own freaking channel on cable. It's just the Kansas City Chiefs channel. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's go. Fantasy football.
And it was Ken Norton. Thank you, chat. I knew I had it right. It's Ken Norton Jr. Yes.
Interesting.
All right, here we go. Everest over at buymeacoffee.com/trades in5. Thank you for the hammer donations. We're a little behind. We're going to have to quote unquote hammer through a bunch of them. Says, hey lads, been following your advice and trying to rejuvenate this team. It is a 12-team Superflex PPR, no tight end premium, start 10. The quarterbacks are Hurts and Trash. Nothing at RB. As BTJ, Olave, Ricky Franklin. At wide receiver, that guy.
Is that Ricky Pearsall or Troy Franklin? Or some combination of the
two? Both. That's why it got me. Kincaid, Mayer. And then at picks has the 101, 106, 107, 8, and 10, and 2 early seconds. Plus all the futures, has a 26 first and second. Through the season, managed to sell Pickens, KW, and Baker for first. His question is, what would you recommend doing? I'd like to get Genty on this team, but would like to become competitive in this new season as I'm sick of losing. Okay, so 12-team Superflex, start 10, no bells and whistles. He's got Hurts, BTJ, Olave, Kincaid, perhaps as assets, and then has a lot of picks. 101.
I laugh when we list cans, but then we list Michael Mayer and Troy Franklin. So the cans must be like the complete, just absolutely dented, smashed, expired type cans. But
like you cut yourself. Like if you
I'll defer to Shane. Shane saved this team. He's sick of losing, and he needs to win this year.
Shane, you have lots of picks. You can do
save
this.
It.
You're the perfect person for this.
What's the setup on this league? Like, what is it? Start 9, start 10, start 11?
Are you serious, bro? I said it a couple times. It's a 12 by 10, no tight end premium or anything.
Nothing special.
So, I mean, you've got Hurts and BTJ, and then
Olave,
whatever.
Kincaid, you could start at tight end. It's not fun, but like
he's something.
He's startable.
But I'm trying to move Olave probably, but you're not going to get what you want for him, so you won't. But you already sold Pickens and K-Dub and Baker for first. I'm just interested or wondering, what did you trade Baker for? But because now you need a quarterback. So what's your plan?
If the team had those 3, it actually might look moderately competitive, right?
Right. So you're going to end up adding Ashton Genty. Then I don't know. Go back to the picks. Let's just say you just go all picks, right? You go Ashton Genty. You go, I don't know, Cameron Ward at 1-6. Or you're going to have to go Jackson Dart because you're chasing a quarterback at this point in one of those picks. You're going to have to. You're chasing a quarterback. I'm
Go
just
get the
telling you.
cheapest QB possible. You have Jalen Hurts. Go get the cheapest dog shit last starter in the league. Go get Matt Stafford for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go get Derek Carr. I ain't chasing the QB.
I got to be honest with you. That just feels like a waste of an asset, to be honest with you. Like, that doesn't do it.
So does reaching on Jackson Dart in the mid-first.
Hey, so Jackson Dart's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick, dude.
I don't disagree, but doesn't it feel like when you lack assets, the last thing you could do is chase something riskier because you don't have it? Like, if there's any way for the league to kind of allow you to deleverage your picks, it's for you to take all the risk with trying to outdraft everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Do you have any builds where you were kind of playing off of the fact that you were having a non-quarterback in your super flex position? You just had like a freaking hammer running back, wide receiver, or even a tight end in that spot in a tight end premium?
No, because it's not.
Everybody's shaking their heads.
If you don't have a quarterback there, like, what are you doing? And why don't you have Cooper Rush? You know, Mason Rudolph. Like, you should find a QB. You can find a cheap.
Your lineup does have to be stacked, that you can just randomly be like, oh, this super flex spot, I'm just going to stick this guy in here that's giving me 16 points per game. You know what I mean? Like, that's a stacked, big, bald lineup right there. But anyway, back to that. I mean, this team doesn't even feel like it's ready to compete for me. If anything, I'm trying to move the 101 and split the asset. You know, what multiples can I get for the 101? That's probably the first thing I'm doing. I understand that you don't like losing, but then you trade at your win now players, all of them. Like, there's probably a happy medium in there, and that happy medium probably would have been hold on to Baker, because this team looks a lot different with Baker in there, right? If I got Baker and Kyler, I don't know if that was the quarterback, whoever the quarterback.
Sorry, yeah, the team is gone.
Okay, whoever the quarterbacks were,
it was Hurts. It was just Hurts. That's it.
Right. So if it's Hurts, Baker, BTJ, and Ashton Genty, it feels good. But you pluck Baker out of there, and it doesn't feel great to me. Okay, he was scoring too many points with Baker and losing the 101. Sold him for a first and a second. Yeah, I get it, but now, like, we are chasing a quarterback. But to Scott's point, maybe you can go out there and buy a Matthew Stafford or Derek Carr for a second or a third.
Let's put up this question from the crowd. Third and Dynasty podcast. That's a dope ass name. Thanks for the question. It says rebuilding an orphan. Got offered the 112, 204, and 210 for the 110, 308, and Olave. It's a super flex. Do you see the number of teams? It's got to be 12. Yeah. 12 teams, super flex, half PPR, start 9. And then he says he has Ramondre, Cup, Debo, Godwin, Judy are the only assets listed. Again, rebuilding, it's an orphan. They tend to, So what is this? Got offered the 112, 204, and 210 for the 110, 308, and Olave. Who wants to go first?
Got offered the... Go ahead, Scott. You're going to answer.
Well, no. I mean, like, you'd take the 110 over the 112, so I don't like that. Yes. I would pay the 204 for Chris Olave, so I don't like that. And then you're basically getting the upgrade from the 210 to the 308. Like, I think I'm keeping the side that I already have. The higher pick in Olave. You got to remember, like, in this receiver class, Olave is going to look a little better when you get to people wanting receivers. They're going to get to, like, the wide receiver 5 in the class and go, man, I kind of wish I'd had a guy like Chris Olave in the class.
Yeah, that's the thing. Olave is he would easily be the wide receiver 1+ in this class. Like, it wouldn't even be particularly close.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm back. I'm on. All right. Thanks for that. Thanks for that question. Appreciate it. Sorry, I'm trying to make hammers in the background. Let's put up this one from Tatum. Says, hey guys, 12-team Superflex got offered Maye and the 203 for A-Rich, Terry, a 26 first and a third. And the question is that an overpay for Maye? So 12-team Superflex. Shane, what do you think here? Got offered Maye and the 203 for A-Rich, Terry, a 26 first.
Assume start 10, Shane.
Assume start 10. No, I'm doing this. But I'm a big, I've said it on here before, and I'm surprised it's not a short. I am a Maye slut. I am a slut for
it. Is one. You don't
Drake
watch
Maye.
our stuff. I think it already is one. Yeah,
good idea. Yeah, no, I like Drake Maye a lot. I think
Uh,
Drake Maye is going to be elite.
it's in the
But
video.
any way you want to break it down, like I got the 203 for Terry, and then I paid A-Rich and a 26 first and third for Drake Maye. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. Some people, like Scott, it looks like, might disagree with that, but I'm a Drake Maye believer, so I like this deal.
No, I can see where if somebody wants to make a bet on Richardson, they're getting by far the most flexible and productive side by getting the extra pieces. They're getting a first. They're getting a guy they can start with McLaurin, who for some reason still holds value. Like, he's a good player, but the thought that a 30-year-old receiver that's really never been an elite receiver has actual dynasty value. I mean, welcome to 2025, where people are playing as close to what's going to happen in week 1 of 2025 as you ever could think. But I think the value here is that you are getting what you want, and you're getting credit for some stuff that's going to be hard to move otherwise. Like, you're getting decent credit for Anthony Richardson. In a lot of leagues, like, nobody even wants him. They'll take him. But as soon as you start talking like real assets in a deal, people are like, man, I don't really believe in Anthony Richardson. Terry McLaurin's 30 years old. Like, they start balking at giving you a real asset for those pieces. So the credit here is you got what you wanted and you piece together a bunch of stuff. It's like cleaning out your garage and being able to buy something you want instead of having to just go pay straight cash for it. You know, like you got some benefit here by just getting this deal done. So I don't hate it at all.
So let's go to IB24 with the hammer. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This is a 12-team, 1 QB, full PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. And I didn't say this earlier, but when we're saying start 8, start 9, we're talking about the number of players you start your lineup each week, not including kicker and defense. So start 8, start 9, those are quote unquote shallow. So you want hammers in every spot. When you get to the deeper formats, we haven't had one of those yet. You'll see how some more, rando players actually come into play. Okay, so again, this is a 12-team, 1 QB, PPR, start 9. Shane, we'll go with you. Have Allen, Connor, Tracy, Chase, London, DJ Moore, Bowers, Mooney, Jonnu. So just kind of listing off rando players. No, that's fine. A Raiders fan wants Bowers and McMillan. Offered the 102, 207, 26 first, which he says is likely mid. Rome Odunze and Mark Andrews. Okay. Can't get Laporta, McBride, or Hawk. Won the ship last year. So it looks like the question is, Shane, this 12-team, 1 QB, no tight end premium, start 9. What was it? Offer the 102, 207, and a mid 26 first. Right? I'm a cluster here. Read this. Am I right on here, Scott?
Yeah. He got offered the 102, 207, 26 first, Rome Odunze, Mark Andrews for McMillan and Bowers. I mean, the package is right. What was it? Start 10? It was start 10?
Start 9.
No tight end premium. That's a fair deal.
I'm doing this, man.
Yeah, that's a fair deal. It's just the hesitation is giving up the even though it's not a tight end premium, giving up the positional advantage of Brock Bowers because he's one of 3 right now, right? I think that's the math I came up with. It's him, Kittle, and Trey McBride right now. That's my only hesitation. So, but it's hard to pass that package up, man. That's a really good deal. Like, and even if I don't even like Rome Odunze, fuck, you're getting the 102. Yeah, like, dude, you're getting 3, 4, like 4 firsts for Bowers. Yeah, you got to do it. You have to do it.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this hammer that's upcoming, and it's going to be tough to make it through. Keep going.
No, I mean, it's the choice here is, do I want to trade Brock Bowers? You're probably never getting a better package. Like, you're getting like Mark Andrews just thrown in as nothing. And right. I'm not saying he's great, but like, you can probably start him and he's passable. But you are trading away a positional advantage. So if you said it takes an overpay like this to get the elite assets, that's why the team is probably doing this. Like, you're not getting this offer because somebody really likes Brock Bowers. You're probably getting this offer much more because that's what it takes to get an elite player. You got to throw a lot of extra shit against the wall to see if somebody will trade you an elite player. So I'm guessing once you get this package, you're not going to be able to go tier up from Roma Dunze. You know what I mean? Because there's probably not a lot of tier ups available. So that's the only thing you got to weigh is how likely is the flexibility that you're getting going to net you something else that you want down the road.
Sounds good. I've got a super from Log. This is one of two. Shane, do you see is the second part somewhere starred? I didn't see it, I don't think. So we'll put that one up if you wouldn't mind bird dogging that. It's Logs.
Fucking Log.
I'll get it. It's 8:53. I got it.
All right. Good job.
Let's see here. So let's go to this one from Dan Grimm. Good to see you, sir. Thank you very much. It's $10 super chat. Who wants to go first here? Shane looks dialed in. Okay, 12 teams, start 10, PPR 1.75 for the tight ends. We've got Lamar, Russ, Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Chase, Higgins, DK, Sutton. And then at running back has Brees, Kyron, Henry, Pacheco, Aaron Jones. And then at tight end, Kittle and Fant. Pick-wise has the 112, a third in all 26 picks. Won the ship. Want to just run it back, but should I make moves is the question. What do you think, Shane? 12 teams, start 10. It is a 1.75 tight end premium. What are you doing?
I mean, the problem is the things I want to move are going to be the things that people aren't particularly interested in, right? Like I'd be okay moving DK, Sutton, Kyron, obviously Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Kittle,
basically every piece except for Jamar Chase. And Lamar.
I mean, but the problem is those are the two pieces everyone's going to be like, yeah, I want those. Like I'd like to move Higgins be one because he was wide receiver 8 this year, or whatever he was this year. I think part of that is he had like 50 points in the last game of the season, but everybody forgets that drove his price up or his scoring up. So Higgins is probably the dude I'd look to move because I don't think he's a legitimate wide receiver 1. And I think last year was a little bit of a fluke. And I think now that he's not going to be playing for money, he's going to revert to good old T. Higgins, who's been wide receiver 26 and wide receiver 40 in the past. But if I can get someone to overpay for him, that's probably who I'm looking to move. Outside of that, I mean, I have no problem running this back. I mean, you got Lamar, Chase. If worse comes to worse, you got Higgins, Hall, and Kyron. That's not a bad team to go through next year with.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, Dan, is you don't have a lot to move. So if you can here's what I would say. You don't have a piece on here that is irreplaceable, but you also have a team that's good enough that if it stays generally healthy and you get the same, or the odds you get the same production from Chase and Lamar Jackson is very low. They had like elite seasons and they stayed healthy. So let's just dial that back like 10%. The team's still good enough to win. But if you're talking about what moves to make on February 4th, anybody that scrolls through this roster is going to go, maybe I would want Brees Hall. Yeah. Maybe I would take T. Higgins, but I want them at a less than what the market is going to say discount. And you don't really have a team that can afford to trade the flexible stuff for less than the market because you're forced into basically just holding on to pretty much everything else you have. So I would put some feelers out there for, like, this may be the team where if you can move Derrick Henry for a 26 first, or you add in a third, like you just do it and you just swallow your pride and you say, I know it's going to hurt my team next year, but that's the only way to get back on track where you have a little more flexibility in the assets that you have. But
do you have to keep leaning into that though? Like after you make that move or that, okay, good. That's just like a isolated move.
Pick a piece that has much more bang for their buck value to other managers. Like Aaron Jones is way more bang for your buck to your team than anybody would give you for him. You know what I mean? Like same with Isaiah Pacheco. Like someone be like, I'll give you a fourth. It's like, nah, he's probably more valuable to me as a running back on my roster. So I think there are some pieces you can move, but you're not going to get paid back for Derrick Henry or Kyron Williams, what they could do for your roster. So if someone says, I'll give you the 203 and the 208 for Derrick Henry, the decision isn't, am I giving away too many points? It's how do I manage around buying some flexibility? Because you may have to move one of those guys just to get something back.
So sorry, lads. Those guys were on my team at the start of the season. Didn't think Baker would go off like that. Look at Everest. What's up, man? Thanks for the thanks for the hammer.
Yeah, no, that makes
lads.
Yeah, that makes more sense because Baker wasn't coming off the QB5 season or whatever he was this year. He was coming off the QB20 season or whatever he had last year.
So thanks, Scott, for finding logs. 2 of 2. We did just mention a couple of these players, though. So real quick, Pistols Firing asks, which side, Aaron Jones and Kyron or Tank Bigsby and Chase Brown? What do you think, Shane?
Aaron Jones and Kyron or Tank Bigsby or Chase Brown? Aaron Jones and Kyron. No. Chase Brown. No. Yeah, Chase Brown. Give me the Chase Brown side.
What are you going, Scott? Aaron Jones and Kyron or Bigsby and Chase Brown?
Oh, actually, I'm looking at my little running back chart here. Any guess where Tank Bigsby was last year in the pecking order? If you just look at like how efficient he was on a per touch basis.
I don't know. Not enough for me here.
Awful. I mean, the only guys ahead of him were Audric Estime, Zeke Elliott, Deontay Foreman, Gus Edwards, and Zamir White. So he's just a complete stiff that people are going to probably people are valuing Bigsby over ETN. You know what I mean? So I think he's the one that stands out here as like a not good running back. I'd rather have Chase Brown over Kyron, but I think it just comes down to it. Now, I think Tank Bigsby is a top 30 running back on KTC right now, which is wild because people are just saying he's going to be the starter. But like, can I sell him? If I can get Chase Brown in a second, I'll do that. But I don't know if I can do that. So otherwise, if I'm just looking at production, I'd probably take the 2.
Sounds good. Log, thank you for your super chat, man. Appreciate it. So this is 1 of 2, a 12-team superflex PPR. 12-team superflex half PPR. Tight end premium. So let's just assume though it's what do you want to assume? 1.5 or just 1 for tight end? Let's call it just a full PPR for tight end. Start 10. Rebuild Maye Stroud at quarterback, Ayuk Adunze Hollywood at wide receiver, McBride at tight end. It's not the grossest rebuild in the room so far. 102, 103, 105, 112, 204. And has 426 firsts. So the other part is trade the 105, 112, my 26 second for Pittman, the 202, and an early 26 first. Want my roster to be built to potentially compete / fringe playoff team in 25 and then compete in 26. Thanks, guys. Much love. What do you think here? Who wants to go first? Trade the 105, 112, his 26 second, and you're getting Pittman 202 and an early 26 first.
Wait, why are we trading the 105? What? That seems egregious.
I was waiting for Shane, and he had to just figure out what the question was.
But that is absurd. And no, absolutely fucking not. No, I'm
Shane's trying to get a Twitter handle. Let us know which one you've decided on.
I was thinking like the 112 and a 26 second for Pittman, 202 and an early 26 first was like the deal. And then I was like, yeah, maybe, but the 105, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know. There's no real analysis to go here other than that trade sucks. And I would absolutely not do that. If you want to move the 105, get another first this year and a first next year. You want to get kinky with it, throw in a second on the back end so that you can go ahead and make that deal happen. But no, I'm absolutely not doing that deal.
Well, let me paint the little devil's advocate for you, Shane. If you have the awful team and it's a guaranteed like top 3 early first next year, are you trading that for the 105?
Hell no.
It's guaranteed 103 next year.
It said early first, so we have to assume it's in the top 4 at minimum.
So I could be moving it for the 105 to the 104.
Right now, you have a team that sucks. It's been in the bottom 4 or 3, and you're giving your 26 first for a single 105 right now. Are you doing that?
Oh, no. No.
Okay, so then the
the
deal
way you
becomes-
framed it, if your team isn't that great, then no,
Well-
because if anything, you'd be tanking it, lower.
The point is, that's kind of the thought here, is that
Mhm.
now you're trading the 112 for the 202, which I don't think is that big of a difference. And you're getting Michael Pittman for free. So it comes down to just, okay, do I want to really gamble on that 26 first being like, could be the 101? You know what I mean? So I get it. I don't want to do this trade, but it also is like, I don't want to do it because it feels like the 105 should fetch more. But I guarantee the person that's holding the early 26 first is not even viewing the 105 as enough. You know what I mean? They're like, dude, this could be the 102 next year. There's no way I'm giving up my pick flexibility for the RB3, RB4, like it just, it doesn't feel like the deal really has much flexibility.
Let's go to a question from Alyssa. Good to see you, Alyssa. Shane, we have a 12-team Superflex, start 11. She says, I'd give Marv the 111 and get Mahomes. I have Neighbors, Ladd, T. Pickens, and only have Herbert and McCarthy at QB. I have picks 6 and 8 and also 326 first. Love you guys. We love you as well. What do you think here, Shane? 12-team Superflex, start 11. So decent depth there.
Herbert and McCarthy at QB. Man, do I want to? I really don't want to pay this much for Mahomes. It's the Marv. I know if Marv doesn't pop this year, it's going to look worse because he'll be like a second rounder next year. But no, I think I'm going to pass. And then this isn't even a shot at Mahomes. I like Mahomes. Fuck that guy. From a fantasy perspective, I hope he breaks a knee. But this is too much for me to pay, I think, for him right now. I do.
Would you do it if you could get it McCarthy and give McCarthy in the deal instead of the 111?
I'd do it if I could do McCarthy in the 111 instead of Marv in the 111.
That's not going to fly.
So you want me to give up Marv and McCarthy? No, because I like McCarthy over the 111.
Okay, I agree with you. You have McCarthy for a reason, right? To bail on him and not gamble that he can be. I'm not saying he's going to be Mahomes, but if he's QB 16, like it doesn't. You know what I mean? You just need him to be good. He's going to be a rookie, basically.
Yeah.
So like you're either trying to include him or like I'm not buying a third QB with a premier asset plus when I have a guy like McCarthy. Like the gamble is I have him and I'm just going to play him.
He's a live asset, man. Yeah, if he's good, he's going to be he'll be like Bo Nix kind of.
Right. The strategy is if you have McCarthy, you have him for a reason. You knew there was going to be an onboarding period. You don't give up more to just get Mahomes because you don't trust McCarthy to win this year. Does that make sense? Like if you're going to do this deal, turn around and say, Shane, would you do that deal if you could turn around and sell McCarthy for a first?
I just said I'm not trading McCarthy for a 111.
No. You give up Marv in the 111 for Mahomes, but then you get a mid 26 first for McCarthy, and you just bank it.
So then, in essence, the deal is Marv McCarthy and a first, the 111.
111
for Mahomes and a first.
And a 26 first. So you've shifted like that 111 value to a 26 first, which we would do anyway. Like that's how you have to think of it. I don't want a QB room where I add Mahomes and now McCarthy's my QB3 and just sits on my bench.
Yeah.
I'm either betting on him or I'll trade him.
Yeah, I got you. No, still not doing it. Still not doing it.
That's fair.
Yeah, still going to hold. I mean, look, it's close, right? Because Mahomes, like I said, Mahomes was a really valuable fantasy asset towards the end of the season. Fuck him. He really came together after sucking ass.
He's watching this stream and he's getting motivation.
This is what he needs motivation from. Dynasty Trades in 5.
He watches on Tuesdays.
Yeah, fucking Kermit the Frog sounding piece of shit. Anyway,
you're tempting fate here, Shane. You've bashed him one too many times.
He's an evil human being. He is a terrible, terrible human being that does not deserve another Super Bowl. Well, his brother is Jackson, and his dad drinks and drives. Terrible person. Terrible. I probably shouldn't start calling out shit that people.
We should probably stop at some point. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I know. Like, so that's the only problem. I can never take the moral high ground because of that, which really sucks.
Shane, let's keep you going though with that energy. Professor Charlie T follows back up with us saying, wife says no fantasy football for next 2 seasons while we try for a second baby in 2 years. Wait, what?
I mean, at least he's getting a lot of sex.
No fantasy football so that they can have sex is how I read this.
Come on, Charlie, you got better swimmers than that. What is this? I don't get it.
No. So he can try for their second baby in 2 years. So like they had another
kid. So she doesn't she wants him focusing on her vagina and not fantasy football. And I understand it completely. Go for it, bro. There's no please help. Look, I love Dynasty Fantasy Football. You have a very limited time window when you can make babies, right? Very limited time window. And then you can't do it.
Incorrect.
Anymore.
Guys can do it for a minute.
Well, okay, guys can make them forever. Your wife, if you want to have them with the person that you currently love,
ideally, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's anybody in here not married. That's not a smart thing to say. I said that to my wife like 6 months after marriage. I'm like, I could have a kid at 80.
Yeah,
that didn't go off too well.
You actually could, but no, Charlie, come on, man. Children are great. You know that. There's absolutely nothing better in this world than having children. Absolutely not.
Shane, you have 2 kids, right? Clay, you have 2 kids.
Correct.
Here's the thing: once he has the second one, is he going to actually get more Dynasty?
Yes, because you're not going out ever again. Like it's fucking.
I have heard that when you have like little ones that go to bed early, you actually get more time.
You can go out, but when they're close in age like that, I don't know about you, Clay. I didn't enjoy going out because they'd be screaming and throwing shit at the restaurant, and I'm just like, fuck this. Let's just order a pizza and stay home. You guys, you know what I mean? Let's go watch Frozen for the 115th time or Lion King. Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're going to watch Pocoyo again and then Harold and the Purple Crayon. Sure. That doesn't make me want to blow my fucking brains out. Yeah. Let's watch that again. And then you just jump on your phone and start playing some fantasy football. So,
I could definitely see if Shane had kids today, he would be the master of like playing with them, but literally on sleeper the entire time. Like I can multitask, right? Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest kid. I made a massive fort with my kids the other day. And
right.
Hell yeah.
I do like how to draw stuff with the kids on YouTube. There's like this awesome, it's called Artwork for Kids, and it's this guy and his family, like they teach you how to draw a Pokemon, like everything. I'm not even like a Pokemon fan or whatever, but it's a lot of fun doing it with
if someone drops, if someone donates 20 hammers, Clay will stream from the fort.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. The fort though, it sucked because the fort sucked though. I had to.
Who knows what else Clay will do for hammers? But still, I'm just saying, streaming from the fort. Why not?
First person that gives 20 hammers, like one of us will impregnate someone. Not just make you do baby for hammers.
Otter Island Resort Spa, and then it became arcade, and there was also a zoo and all sorts of fun stuff by the end. It kept evolving.
All right, let's move on. Get back to the show, but yeah,
this is the funny one that I was putting together earlier. So I have to find the name of the donator, but this is a 10-team Superflex Start 14 PPR 1.5 for the tight ends. Gutter Bags and Company returns. That he puts colon. That's just great. Gutter Bags and Company. Quarterbacks are Bryce Young, Penix. A wide receiver has Trash, which he says is Leggett, Coker, Adonai Mitchell, QJ, and Tillman.
Dude, life is
all in on that Panthers trio of Bryce, Penix, or Leggett, and Coker. Let's go.
Life has taken a severe left U-turn if you are naming after cans Leggett, Coker, and Adonai Mitchell.
And Quentin Johnston.
And Quentin
And naturally is questioning if Benson is a can at running back, and that's the only option. If yes, in cans it is. All right, so tight end doesn't have one either. 25 has the 101, 103, and then seconds has the 201, 204, has 326 first, 3 seconds. Playing against the median, my team record was 0-28. Nicely done.
Nice.
Should I be selling the 101 and 103 this year and try to split, or just stick and pick since my team has almost 0 elite starters anyway? So you guys are definitely saying selling the 101 and 103. Go ahead.
This is as close to the question that says, here's my roster, cans and all picks.
Let
What
me
do I do?
here's the third part of his question. Or take Genty and ride my 2 QBs while selling the rest for veteran receivers and try to compete in 25.
I mean, the problem is
That's going to be hard to talk through, but yeah.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure his QBs are good. So it's like that by time you compete, your 2 QBs might just be there. You know what I mean? So I mean, I almost want to just reboot this team literally to all picks. I don't know if it's possible.
Sure.
But
yeah. So can you get, I mean, okay, Bryce Young and Penix are the assets. And then the picks.
Can I get a first for both of them and get somebody else to give me another pick, even if it's 2 years out? Can I get a second and you can pick any of the other assets I have and I'll give you that asset too? Can I get a 26 second and a first for, I don't know, AD Mitchell and one of the quarterbacks? You know, like, can I get a little leverage? Maybe you give me an extra third thrown in or something. But I mean, I want to get rid of all the stuff that's not even Penix and Knicks because they're just, you either wait to sell them when they have a good moment, but like, which of his receivers is going to have a great moment, Shane? You don't even see the window where one of them like explodes.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
not. I mean,
I'm not even sure if you could get thirds for all of them, you might almost just do it.
That's what I was going to say. Leggett can go, Coker can go, Adonai Mitchell. I lost here. Can I trade here? We were talking about this Discord a few weeks back, but can I move Coker or Adonai or QJ or Tillman for freaking Danny Jones and something? You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have that than those wide receivers on my roster.
And like this was from Cowboy Eric. Cowboy Eric, thank you very much for the for that hammer. Okay, let's go back to the crowd. And I did turn supers off because we're gonna have to get out of here at some point. Matt, thank you for yours. The $6.99 of the Canadian fashion. Appreciate you. This is one of 2 12-team PPR Superflex Start 9. Scott, your quarterbacks are Love, Kyler, Darnold. You've got Bijan, Brees, Isaac Guerrero at running back, Amon-Ra, JSN, Judy, Diojon, Ao, Watson and Kirk at wide receiver, Bowers and Otten at tight end. 112, 212, a 26 first, 27 first. The second part, which I hope is in here. Do you have it in here, Shane? Yeah, there it is. My bad. It's sitting literally right under it. Just won the ship. What move should I make? Thinking of tearing down from Amon-Ra and Kyler. Love the show, guys. Thanks for your help as always. You're welcome, Matt. Thank you. So the question, thinking of tearing down from Amon-Ra or Kyler. What do you think here, Scott? 12 team, start 9.
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra is one of the few elite assets that you have, so I'm not really interested in tearing down from him. I don't even know if you tear down from Kyler. Sure, maybe you get a second on top of like Dak or Trevor Lawrence or someone like that, but I don't think he has the steam to tier to anything meaningful. And I'd be interested in, do you have the market to sell one of Kyler and Jordan Love and just roll with Sam Darnold? You don't need 3 QBs. You need more assets. You need more flexibility. You got a bunch of shit on this team that you can't do anything with besides Amon-Ra, JSN, Bowers. I mean, it's a good team, but I don't need the 3 QBs. Like, I'm going to gamble on Sam Darnold because I don't think the tier off of Kyler or Jordan Love is worth the tier off. Like, what can I just get for them straight up? What's the best skill player I could get for one of those QBs, Shane?
Mm-hmm. You're not going to like the returns. I'll just say that. Absolutely not. You're not going to like the returns at all.
Can I get Roma Dunze for one of those QBs, or would you want more? Rice, can I get one of him for one of those guys?
Yeah, if I can get that for Darnold or Love, I'd probably be
not Darnold. You're gonna have to bet on Darnold, but the other 2.
Fine. Love can go.
Yeah, I mean,
and the problem, just as you were talking about that, the problem with tearing down from Kyler is you're just not going to like the return. The Kyler, people didn't like Kyler when he was a top 8 quarterback, right? So then when he struggled a little bit last year, what do you think the market looked like?
Like when he actually wasn't?
Right. And then all of a sudden people are like, I told you he sucked, even though he's still like QB 10, but you know what I mean? Like, people just do not like him. More important than that, go Birds.
You know what's interesting?
You better put my other one back up if you're going to pull that.
I don't even remember which one that was.
No, you're good. You're good. I got it. It's Mark Jankowski. What's up,
You
Scott?
know what's interesting is with Kyler is like he's technically QB 13. But if I told you Kyler has like a top 20th percentile or top 20% of what his range of outcomes would be, that's probably a higher ceiling than, I don't know, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? Like those guys clearly are on a tier above him. So if anything, that Kyler is a guy to tier 2, because I think you can actually tier to Kyler from Michael Penix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's actually the guy I would hold here. I'd try to trade Love.
Cody asks, are we tariffing super chats yet? Yeah, buymeacoffee.com/tradesand5 all day, baby. Granted, I need to get us caught up on there. Where was from Mark? Mark Jankowski, good to see you, buddy. He says, hola, my brothers. Riddle me this. Let's say it's the stock DTI 5 format, which is 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, 1.75 for the tight end, start 11. He asks, Lad equals what pick? He says the 102, 3, 4. Just having a conversation in my head. Well, we're having a conversation on YouTube now. What do you think, Shane?
I've seen Lad trade it for the 104, and I thought that was a little high. But so you can definitely get the 104 for him. Not in every league, obviously, but 102, 103. I think that's a little aggressive. I can't imagine anyone's giving up the 102 or 103 because even if you just made that deal because you wanted to go get Tet, like I'd say Tet has a better prospect profile than Lad, even if Lad did smash last year, or at least a better range of outcomes. Like the thought of his range of outcomes is higher than Lad's. But yeah, you definitely get the 104. I've seen it done. I don't know about the 103 and 102, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What do you think, Scott? Price check.
Honestly, I think that the 102 through 105, at least the mocks we've done thus far, like on DD, it's basically very much what does the team need that's in that slot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the value of the 102 over the 104 is that if there's something that emerges, you get the first choice at it. And if there's a positional piece that emerges above the other, then you could potentially get more value by having like the only quarterback that people want or the only tight end that people want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think the player difference is that much between 102, 103, 104, 105. So if you really just want to get a player you like, that's a young, good asset, then I have no problem doing any of those. But just understand the 102, like you're potentially, the opportunity cost is way higher.
Blecka, thank you for the super chat. Shane, this is a 10-team start 10. Quarterbacks are Allen, Caleb, Goff. Running backs, Gibbs, Achan, CMC. Wide receivers, Nico, Marv, AJ Brown, Terry, Mike Evans. And tight end is Andrews. 3-11 last year. Any moves I should make? What do you think?
Let's see here. We got a 10 by 10. Allen and Caleb and Goff. Gibbs a chain. Those running backs are very, very good. Nico and Marvin Harrison Jr. I like those as well. AJ Brown. I mean, I hate blaming anything on luck, right? Because you make your own luck sometimes. But AJ Brown missed a few games. Nico missed several games. I don't know how you didn't do better, though, to be honest with you. I am listening. Stop it. Anywho, moves to make. Scott talked about it earlier, right? Can I get out on Terry McLaurin coming off his best season? You're not moving Mike Evans. What can I do to upgrade my QB2? Because it's 10 by 10. I like Caleb. I like Goff, but I wouldn't be opposed to trying to upgrade that second QB position to something a little more known and a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Needle moving.
I'll give you, would you do Jared Goff and Christian McCaffrey for Kyler Murray?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the extent of like the type of quote unquote upgrade you're going to get. You know what I mean? Because Caleb is QB 10. Goff is QB 20. So somewhere between there, you have to pick somebody that you're willing to throw an extra starter at that could maybe give you a little bit of a higher ceiling. I think Kyler probably fits that range.
Maye, Drake Maye,
He's
Kyler.
QB 6. You're QB 7.
I know what he is on KTC, but I would think he's still in that range of someone that you could get, although he's higher than Kyler Murray.
Maybe not McCaffrey. I think that's the piece.
Yeah.
Would you give up another piece? Would you give up AJ Brown and Jared Goff for CJ Stroud?
AJ Brown and Jared Goff for CJ Stroud.
No.
So yeah, you so quickly said no to CJ Stroud, but would you do that for Drake May?
Yeah. Goff and CJ Stroud, they seem like the same thing, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean CJ Stroud, I like CJ Stroud, but I don't know what his ceiling is. And specifically,
Shane doesn't want to give up AJ Brown for the quarterback upgrade. I think that's the hang up here, right?
Well, we'll see what Shane thinks about AJ Brown after this weekend.
10 by 10 in a 10 by 10, like the second quarterback, obviously, I'm trying to get is like there's only like 5 that I think I'm willing to pay up for. Everyone else, I don't know if I'm willing to make like this incremental tier unless I could then turn around and go, all right, now I got Drake May. What can I add to him to get Lamar? But like at that point, I don't think you're not at that point, but you couldn't. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I'd want to do that. That's all.
I think the issue is the piece you want to try to tier up with is like Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, or Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. It's like that. Nobody really sees those as an added piece when they're giving up a QB that could give you a 20% difference in production.
Yeah.
We got 2 hammers from Nick Beasy, and let's turn it up here, boys. Thank you very much, Nick. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR. Okay, so it looks like it's tiered. It is 1.25 for the running backs, 1.5 for the wide receivers, 2.0 for the tight ends. 6 point per passing touchdown. Says overweight on meh value assets after splitting to fill holes down the stretch. Who and how to liquidate to get more flexible or tier up. And then here's his team. Allen, Mahomes, any QB on a 53. Has McCaffrey, Camaro, Monty, Warren, and Ford at running back. Nico, Addison, Cup, Mooney, Ridley, Kirk. Also has Keenan Allen, Kittle, and Andrews at tight end. For 2025, has the 301 and all future picks. I think that was the last part right there. So what was the question? Yeah, overweight on meh value. Who and how to liquidate to get more flexible or to tier up. What do you think? And then I'll go back to the team. Tiered PPR start 10.
I'll hit this one real quick. Go ahead, Shane.
No, I was just going to say, I don't want to keep repeating ourselves. We're getting to the point of the off season where it's like the people you want to sell aren't the people that people are going to want to trade for, right? Like you're going to be like, oh, can I use Addison and Cup to go get me someone in Nico Collins' range? Like, no. People are probably going to come at you like, well, can I get Nico Collins? Like that's probably what they're going to be asking for.
I mean, I'll just say this. I don't know what his QBs are, but if there are any QBs that even sniff a job, gone. Jameis Winston, Justin Fields, Drew Lock, Mac Jones, any of those guys, and get rid of them. You're never playing them over Allen and Mahomes. That's who you're playing. Those are your quarterbacks. You don't need a QB 3, 4, 5, whatever. I have a bunch of teams like this where I look up and it's June and I go, wow, I have Sam Darnold and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Like, holy shit, I have like 5 starters. Don't go, oh, I need a starter price now because Justin Fields is a starter. If someone's willing to give you a second and a fourth, like just take it. You know what I mean? That's the liquidation from that, what you can actually trade. Everything else, I mean, sure. Do you want to sell Cooper Kupp right now when his team's basically gotten rid of him? No, wait till he goes to the Texans and someone will give you 2 seconds and then you can but you got to be able to liquidate when other people want to buy. To Shane's point, there's not a single asset on there that people are knocking down your door going, man, I'd love to pay market for that guy, other than Mahomes and Allen. Everything else, it's like, that guy's old. Nico, that's the only one. Everything else is sure, I'll take Keenan Allen for a third. You know, I'll take Jerome Ford for a third.
It's like, well, just keep him instead. Yep. Thank you for those hammers, Mr. Nick Beasy. We've got Ryan Yeatman from the crowd. Good to see you, Ryan.
Yeet.
Shane, you're up. This is a 10-team Superflex PPR, 1.5 for the tight end, start 12. So 10 by 12. Stroud, Kyler, Tua. And then has Ken Walker and trash cans at running back. Chase, Neighbors, Marv, Nico, Waddle, and Ayuk. and then has 426 firsts and 227 firsts. Moving Chase, inbox offers Amon-Ra 27 first, 26 second, or London the 108 and a 27 first. Shane's shaking his head. What's up, man?
No, I'm shaking my head at the first one. I'm on a 27 first because 2027 is multiple years away.
That's Jeremiah Smith.
Allegedly.
Remember?
Oh, it's a Jeremiah Smith class. Okay, so that's everyone's getting Jeremiah Smith. So that 27 first is worth like 3.
That's already Jamar Chase.
Yeah, So you've got Jamar Chase is better in that deal, and
Younger.
you get Amon-Ra. No, he's just better. He's gonna come out 30 points a game probably. I mean the offers are fair. I'll say this, right? Like value wise, both of them are fair.
I like the second one over the first one because there might be a world where I can move Drake London in the 108 and get like CD Lamb, and then I'm like, okay,
could I do that? Right? Could I turn this into?
Could I get Amon-Ra St. Brown for that deal?
Right.
Yeah, that's if
I'm going to make a deal, it's going to be the second one. As much as I don't really want to move Chase, the value's there though. I will say the value is there. It's a fair deal, but yeah,
I mean, isn't this the kind of league where you have Chase, Neighbors, Marv, and Nico, and you're kind of willing just to let that ride for 3 years,
6 years? I mean, if you really wanted to,
until they drastically change, like you're kind of willing, like you probably put a lot of effort into getting those 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't get cute. I know you're looking to move for extra value, but like, do you have to right now?
Yeah, and Royce in the comments saying Drake London plus a late pick can buy something. Yes, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I got CD Lamb and you come to me and you're like, I'll give you the 108 and Drake London for CD Lamb, I'm gonna tell you no. Like, I'm not doing it. If I have Amon-Ra, maybe Amon-Ra, because I don't respect him the way that he should be, and that's a me problem, not a you problem. ARSB.
Well, if you did London in the 108 for Amon-Ra, that's basically like the first deal, except for you're getting an extra second in the first deal. Well, yeah, it's you almost have to have that second deal negotiated before you do the first one. That's the only way I would even consider.
Right, because if I make this deal and I'm like, it's because I'm going to get another wide receiver with those pieces. Excuse me, I tear up for those pieces. Next thing you know, I can't, and then literally I'm just banging my head against the wall trying to get it done all year. Because the
guy giving you the package, Shane, has probably already offered like a slightly lesser package for all the guys you would try to get. You know what I mean?
And there's
it's probably just not going to allow that to happen.
There's only so many top end elite wide receivers, right? It's Chase and Jefferson in that specific tier, maybe Neighbors, maybe BTJ, CD Lamb, you know what I mean? But it's a very select few.
Yep. Okay, let me keep going here. Thanks for that super chat, Yeats. All right, let's go to Sandford just throws in here. I hope Mahomes is watching you guys versus Eagles, Dave. Good to see you, Sandford.
I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Is it Chiefs night at the Super Bowl? Last night was the Eagles on the podium, so it might be the Chiefs.
Oh, really?
Tonight, I believe so.
Let's see. What does it say here? How do you pull off? It's a question from Dax S from the crowd. How do you pull off trading a late first for future picks without making it obvious? What a great question. Yeah. What do you think here, Scott?
So I did a video about this where I talked about some moves that burned me. And this was one of the trades that did burn me, but it wasn't for the reason that you might think. It was basically, I had to add, and this was in 2024. So before last year. And I had to basically kick it out a year to get this done because in 2024, nobody really wanted to trade a 25 first for like the 110, 111. That class was, nobody really knew who to pick in that range. So it was a hard deal to get done. So you can either kick it out a year. You offer somebody like the 110 for a 27 first. Now I get it. It's the Jeremiah Smith year, but like you have a better shot at getting it 2 years out. But I think the other thing is if you can't get that done and I'm sitting on the 109 and my goal is to get a 26 first for it. Well, can I add a third? Can I add the 305? Can I add a player? You know what I mean?
You disguise it a little bit, but mixing in
this is a deal where your goal is probably to get flexibility and get something that you can spend later, right? So yeah, do I really want to give up a second piece in that deal? No. But if it accomplishes my goal, like I'll throw in a random, Jacoby Myers or someone, you know what I mean? Like if that's my goal, I'm willing to give in something that's maybe worth a second value wise, but go try to get a mid-second for Jacoby Myers right now. Nobody's buying him. So he's not really worth a second, even though you think he is. So add something to it. Make it seem like they're getting the leverage. Like just get it done. Your goal is to get the future first. It's not to get a great deal on the 108, the 109, the 110, whatever it is.
We got a question from P Nasty 24. That's a pretty P Nasty avatar you got there. This is a 12-team, 1 QB, half PPR start 8. So a shallow one here. Shane, Caleb Penix at quarterback. We have Ray Davis, CEH at running back. Love it. Neighbors, BTJ, Ladd, Marv, Adunze, and Flowers wide receiver. Bowers and Sanat at tight end. I know how you're supposed to say it. Picks 107, 108, 326 first. How should I go about getting starting running backs? Been trying to shop Zay. No luck. What do you think? P Nasty's got a question for you, Shane. What do you think?
What? How should I go about getting starting running backs? We're trying to shop Zay and
why does Clay even bother to read the questions?
It's fine. I will always love Shane no matter what. I get mad at him in like 6-second increments.
It's start 8. So can I trade 326 first for Devon Chain? Can I trade 326 first for Gibbs? Can I trade?
He wants to trade Zay Flowers. Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening, bro. It's a start 8. Like I like Zay Flowers and start 10, start 11, start 12, but not in a start 8. Like he's not even touching my lineup. Probably you're gonna have to just nut up and actually pay up. So 107, 108, and 326 first. Start picking from that pile. Like, what do you want for Bijan? How many of my first do you need for Bijan? Or can I trade the 107, the 108, and Zay Flowers and get to the 101 and get Genty?
I will just say this. The equivalent of Zay Flowers on like KTC is, could you get, I assume you would take Chase Brown for Zay Flowers?
Yeah.
Ken Walker?
For Zay? I don't know about Ken.
In his market, it sounds like, look at his receivers and then look at his running backs. And I will just say this about the picks.
Like
it
is a half PPR start 8.
This league, you're probably better off drafting running backs too in this class than trying to trade for them. Because like the running back you're going to get offered for the 107 is going to be like, here, I'll give you, I don't know, who can I throw you? I'll give you like Joe Mixon. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather probably just trade for one, or rather just draft one at that point. So.
Yep. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. We're not going to be able to hit all the hammers. We're behind. We're behind, no doubt. But I'll either do a solo show with the guy in the middle, or maybe one of you guys can join me sometime this week and get these answered. But apologies ahead of time. Super Sauce XL says, had a buddy whose team was good enough that he just started Chuba in the Superflex. Oh, okay. Just wasn't interested in trading and had bad runouts with Levis, Jones, Winston. He went 23-1 and won the league. Yeah, I almost did this in the OG league, in the Trades in 5 OG league, because I had like an injury. It was just, unfortunately, so flushed with lovely assets, and I had somebody in the Superflex. But yeah, I guess it happens.
You can get there at the end of the season, right? When half the teams in your league have quit and it's easier to trade for pieces, but you don't go into the season going, I'm going to start Chuba Hubbard in the Superflex. You know what I mean? Like you probably don't go into the season with that plan. I actually had a really good idea about what would it take for Shane to commit to a live stream after the Super Bowl?
That night?
Exactly. Because it could either be he's on cloud 9, or it could be he just cusses out every question.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if they lose, I'm not gonna be this joyful.
It'd be entertaining either way, though, wouldn't it?
How about like first thing in the morning?
Shane's
raw, like Dunkin' Donuts cigarette.
Yeah. Every answer would just be like, "Fuck yeah, go Birds!" You know what I mean? Every answer would start with just elated excitement from Shane.
Look, I say some just unacceptably ill things during Eagles games that I am ashamed of.
Should not be on live TV, you don't
Definitely
think?
not live
music?
television. Definitely not. I would be absolutely horrified if anyone heard some of the things I say with in my buddy's basement while I'm watching football games. I am absolutely ashamed to say those things. Sometimes I realize that my children are there and I go, oh, please don't grow up to be like this man. So yeah, I can't commit to a live stream because if they lose, it's gonna be, yeah.
Hey, well, just looking to provide some streaming entertainment here.
If they win, I jump on and I love everyone. You know what I mean? It's the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm all peace and love.
Yep. We have the last one starred here is from Jonathan Parks. Thank you for the question. This is a shallow one as well, Scott. Do we have the number of teams? Looks like there's 12. 12 team, 1 QB, PPR, 1.5 for the tight ends, start 9. Kyler at quarterback. We have Brees at running back, BTJ, Marv, London, Devontae Smith, Rice, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, then has Andrews and Pitts at tight end. Has the 104, 6, 9, 10, and 12. The group is not active in trades except for a few guys. Okay, so again, shallow, 12 team, 1 QB, start 9, small tight end premium. Has a lot of picks and a few assets there. What do you think?
I mean, we already have Brees. We have, 6 of the top 15 receivers here? Give or take. Devontae Smith, top 20. Like, receivers are great. I mean, your tight ends are what they are. This kind of feels like the perfect team to go. The only thing I need is running backs, and I have a shit ton of picks. If you have to pick them all, you have to pick them all. I mean, obviously try to trade the picks for running backs, but if the league's not super active, I'm guessing you've gone to the active teams and nothing's been done yet. So don't you think, Shane, you could just draft all running backs here and be like, 2 of them will be good?
Yeah. Look, honestly, you're just playing the numbers at that point because Kyler's not Kylar. It's
No.
ER.
It's Kevlar.
Kyler. Alliteration is fun.
Shane just got to the Kyler.
Yeah, but I would probably just be smashing running backs here.
Which Clay already announced like 5 minutes ago.
Look, I'll say that if I get to like 109 and Tet sitting there, or if I get to like 110 and Ibuka sitting there, I might just grab one of those.
It's a 1 QB. I think he'll probably.
Oh, it's 1 QB.
Gone.
Clearly. Yeah, they're gone.
Did you give enough good analysis there?
No, that analysis is terrible, but it's
by the way, Kyler is spelled wrong.
No, it's in 1 QB. I bet you that at 106, Ibuka or Tet's there. Well, not Tet, but Ibuka's there probably at 106. Somewhere along the line.
Are you adding your 8th receiver?
Yeah. Because then I can move Garrett Wilson, or I can move Rashee Rice, or I can move Devonta Smith, or I can move London. Probably not Marvin Harrison Jr. Under no circumstances BTJ. But then I do give myself a little more flexibility rather than just nailing like, oh well, it's a team need, so let me just draft for need.
This is a fun team. This is a fun team to have. Yeah.
Hey, you've at least played it right with the picks correlating with what you need.
Yeah.
Whether it works out or not is a different story, but you could be the opposite. Hey, I need receivers and I have all late first. What do I do? You know what I mean? Good luck.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's shallow as hell. 12 teams, start 9, 1 QB, just consolidate. Hammer. All right. That's the last one that we had starred. I never even said hi to the beautiful crowd. 225 people made it here until the end. Thank you so much for joining. They already hit that like button because they know it helps out this channel so much. But no, thank you very much for joining, guys. Would you like to say good night?
Good night.
Good night. Let's see how I feel next week. I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Eagles lose and any of you come talking shit about the Eagles, you're getting fucking banned from the channel. I'm gonna say that right now.
Hey, he said it. Hey, there's your warning.
Dead serious, bro. If the Eagles lose and you come talking shit about the Eagles, you're gone. Absolutely gone. Anyway,
give it a day. Give it a day.
Yeah, probably by Tuesday I'd be fine, to be quite honest with you. No, everybody, hope you have a fun Super Bowl. Don't drink and drive because that's a heavy drinking day. So don't drive. Take an Uber.
Yeah, no doubt. Scott,
not like
night?
Pat Mahomes' dad.
So good night. Good luck to Shane's squad. I'm kind of indifferent as to who wins. Part of me does want to see just the glutton of suffering by people if Mahomes wins another one, because there's 31 other fan bases that are not fans, but there's something about dynasties that sell. You
like underdogs are fun. Underdogs are fun. Everybody roots for them, right? But as soon as someone's at the top, you absolutely hate them and despise them. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Like the Patriots, just going back to the Patriots. I love them in their first
overwhelming amount of seeing.
Yeah. And then it's just, like it's always these guys. And then, your brain just starts going, well, they probably just get all the calls. Like, that's why. Because the league just wants them to. Like, yeah, New England and freaking Kansas City. That's the two towns they would pick if they were throwing games. But anyway. It's just that you just don't enjoy seeing the same people win over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Anyway, all right. Thank you to everyone in the crowd, and again, apologies to everyone who didn't get their questions answered on Buy Me a Coffee. That's on me. We will see you next time. Yeah, cheers. Have a great night.